All right, what is up, Misfits and Moonbasers? It's your boy Ray Recall coming at you one more time with a another video review, figure review. So I know it's been a while since my last one. Things have been real hectic, but I do have a lot more stuff lined up. I know I always say that, but today I'm just going to review a whole bunch of stuff in bulk and just upload it over the course of the next few weeks. Hopefully one a week, maybe more. But yeah, that'll hopefully get y'all a little bit more action just throughout the month and make it not so much that I am just away for all the time. So, without further ado, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. So, it's not a Transformers review. Today, we are looking at this behemoth. That's right. Oh boy, camera's not getting a good angle on it. There we go. So, yeah, this is the Predator Ultimate Emissary #2 concept figure. Now, this is from the Predators movie. The let's see, what was it? The 2018, I think, is when it came out. Yeah, and this is basically based on a deleted scene where the Emissary Predators were basically military predators that fought alongside the loonies. And this is just basically kind of like a concept idea. This is #2, the second design, and the difference is between these two that this one has a much more blue color gradient than the other one. The other one's more purple, and the mandibles are closed more than the other one. But yeah, so basically, this is the same body type, I believe, as the Fugitive Predator, but they just kind of gave it a more Earth military aesthetic. So let's take a quick look at the box. You know, not for kids. Blah blah blah. Emissary Predator. Some nice shots of it. Shows you what it comes with: 2 interchangeable heads, 6 interchangeable hands, and the machine gun. Haven't seen a Predator use one of those before, I don't think. Just blah, blah, blah. So pretty simple packaging. Does have window box for those collectors that like to keep their toys in boxes and never play with them or pose them or enjoy them ever. So yeah, it's got that nice shot right there. Wish I had a backdrop that could kind of like do a diorama of that, but I don't have any furniture. So and then yeah, here's the figure itself, and kind of package this thing kind of sassily. And we'll get into more detail on that in just a second. So let me go ahead and get it out of its packaging. And we're back into it. So yeah, this is the Mark II Emissary Predator in all of its glory. So yeah, so just taking a quick look at it. By the way, for most of my reviews that will be moving forward, if it's a mainline figure that has one of these little pickles, I'll be using a NECA figure stand. So it is compatible. So just real quickly overview. It's a Predator. I mean, what do you expect? So, but it's a way that we never really got to see Predators done before, because as you can see, all the typical Predator armor has been replaced by more terrestrial Earth armor. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like mechanical detail or not mechanical, but like robotic augmentation, or just to make it look cool. Probably just to make it look cool, but yeah. So we get to see a lot of detail of the Predator. Love the feet on this thing for some reason. I'm just like the way how it kind of looks like it's like not human feet like the rest of them were. Military fatigues, body armor. That's all. Again, it's designed the same way that the old Predator armor was, but it's got just a more human-like motif to it. Cool bit of gear is that he still has the classic Predator wrist gauntlet. And then let's take a closer look at that head sculpt. One ugly mofo. So, yeah. And then one thing I noticed about this figure is that the brow ridge is much more distinct and protruding than a lot of the previous Predators have been. The dreads on this thing too are really nice. Each one is like individual. Got some paint picked out on the little braids, not the 180, but you know. So let's see here. So looking at this, it's got, I think it's got like over what 30 points of articulation. So we'll just start at the head. The head is on a ball joint, and it is swappable. So I'll show you what the head looks like different on that. Pretty sure that the neck is on a what do you call it? Kind of like the ball joint that's on a little axle thing. Shoulders can do 360. They can go about as much out that far, but they can go in kind of well. But the shoulder armor kind of messes with clearance a little bit. Elbow swivel here. Double jointed elbow, so you can get not 100% full range of motion on the elbow, but it's still there. Get a forearm rotation right here. And then as for the hands have a rotation. They can go in and out on this hinge, and the hands themselves are swappable. Interestingly enough, the hands also kind of have a weird texture to them. They're kind of squishy compared to the rest. And again, I just love that detail on there. So the paint that was picked out on here, the sculpting on the gloves, the claws, just loving that detail. So let's see. There's an upper torso ball joint. You can get a better look of how that works. So you can kind of bend it back that far, bend it forward pretty far, and then there's another one at the midsection right there. I think that one's more of a rotation. Is it a rotation? No, it's also a ball joint. So you can get a pretty deep crunch and back arch about that far. Legs, I believe, are on a rotation. They can go about forward that far, backward that far. Can do a pretty good high kick. As you can see, there's also the upper thigh rotation right here. Let's see, anything? Yeah, there's a rotation above the knee proper. Got a double jointed knee with, I think this one has full range of movement. Yeah, full range of movement on the knee. So you got that. Kind of clunky. You also have a ankle rotation and some forward and backward movement, and I don't think that there's any pivot. No, there is not a pivot, and then the foot is a solid piece, so there's no toe bend. So you do get some pretty decent range of motion with this guy. So, and I guess I can go over accessories in just a second, but first I just want to show you about the hands. Just give me, just go ahead and plug this back in, and you know, it can sit pretty well on the figure stand. So let me see something real quick. Okay, so in addition to having a pair of these open hands, you can simply, the greatest of ease, pull them out. They're on the little peg connector. See right there? You can switch them out for some closed fists. He does have a pair of closed fists with the, come on, if my camera will focus. There we go. Really nice detail on the fingernails. So you can give him a pair of fists, or he does have an alternate pair of weapon holding hands. So already got this fist or this hand out. Let me pop this one out. If you go frame by frame, you can see how messy my room is. So yeah, pop those hands out, and now we're going to go with the weapon holding hand. So simply take one. If I can do this while looking through the camera, and these do have a really tight connection in them, so you don't have to worry about them just falling out all the time. There's the other one right here. And if you notice, the weapon holding hands are sculpted differently, so he can't necessarily dual wield. But what he can do, just falling all over the place. I really need to get a new camera set up. There we go. So what you can do is give him his included weapon accessory. So you get this bad boy. And does it have the opening? Yeah. It's got a little bit of detail in it. You can open the top. The mag is kind of just flopping there, which is a little bit disconcerting. I wish that kind of tabbed in somewhere. But not the end of the world. Close that up. Locks into place. And yeah, it's got some really nice gunmetal gray or silver detail on it. And basically what you do, there we go. So you just stick this end in this hand. Got to work with these joints a little bit, and they are nice and tight. And the other hand, or the other, yeah, hang on. One moment. And there we go. So, yeah, looks pretty good holding a gun. So as you can see, I'm just gonna bring a little bit closer. Yeah, as you can see, the finger actually does go in the trigger. So that's part of the reason, you know, the hands are a little bit more malleable. This hand grips the rifle nice and snug. It just looks real natural in his hands. And the cool thing about this is if you realize how big this type of gun is compared to a human, and how just relatively easy it looks for this guy to hold it. Yeah, you can just imagine how freaking big these guys are. So, and one last thing, excuse me. As I said before, you know, the head, it does come with an alternate masked head, so I'll go ahead and just show you what that looks like on him. So, be right back. And just to show you what the difference of the main head sculpts is that one of them's got the full Predator look, the other one's got the helmeted look. Believe it or not, I think this one's actually a little bit smaller, just due to the fact that it has less depth, because these mandibles, as you can see, oops, the mandibles do stick out quite a bit on this head, so that it does give it a little bit more forward depth, I suppose you could say. But yeah, and I just love the look of the new Predator helmet. The other ones were like, they seem like just like a solid piece of metal with like the lenses and like some tubes sticking into it. This just looks like its own piece of technology on its own. It looks like it's a full contained life support unit, computer, death, whatever it is. So, but yeah, I do love both of the designs of these head sculpts. So, I'm not sure which one I'm going to display 100%, but just showing off what the differences is. So, yeah. And there you have the alternate head. And I gotta say, it looks a little bit more out of place than the just raw unmasked head, partially because of the aesthetic of the helmet does not fit at all with the US military aesthetic of the rest. Like, the gauntlet is one thing, kind of can be overlooked, but the rest just, helmet just doesn't fit with this design, which is a shame, because I'll probably end up going back to this head. But yeah, so that pretty much does it. So once again, this has been the what is it called? The Predator Ultimate Emissary #2 concept figure by NECA. I picked mine up from a commercial retailer. You can probably pick one up either online, or I do believe that Misfit Toys is a licensed NECA dealer, so you can always go check them out. Just let them know that your boy Ray Recall sent you. Dan will probably give you a pretty good deal, so don't quote me on that though. Anyway, this has been Ray Recall with another video review, and you can look forward to a lot more coming up in just a little while. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later.